Hello everybody and welcome to the Greyhawk channel. Sorry that we're a bit late. As you can see, Buns is not here. Don't worry, I'll kill her later. So, I am your DM for the next few hours, Gloss and Gadgets, and these are my players that are playing the Shadow of Vecna, which I will say the entire game is a puzzle. And it indeed has my players stumped, I think. Although I think they have a way forward. But before we do a quick recap and get into all of that, we would like to thank some people. People would like to thank you. Yes, you are lovely subscribers, patrons of the Greyhawk channel. Thank you very much for everything that you do, everything you donate, everything that you give the Greyhawk channel, because without you none of this would be possible. This game would not be here, other games would not be here, all the wonderful community stuff would not be there, and so on and so forth. It is also to know that we are supported by Roll20.net, the world's leading free tabletop simulator. Pretty much all the games are powered by Roll20 here on the Greyhawk channel, and yours can be powered up too, because if you just go onto Roll20.net you can get a free account and start playing with it and start playing D&D after we've finished, or maybe later, depending on how you feel. It's really down to you. We would also like to thank Tabletop Loot, who supply many of the Greyhawk patrons with their Clack math rocks, and if you would like some discounted Clack math rocks, all you need to do is go onto Tabletop Loot and in the coupon code type in Greyhawk, capital G for golf, capital H for hotel, into the coupon box and get 15% off. Also, if you are a patron or a subscriber, you can get special coupon codes for rootinc.net and someone else whose name escapes me right now, so do that. If you're a patron or subscriber, just join the Discord, which you can find a link on our Twitter, because Greyhawk channel has a Twitter, so go follow that as well. And last but not least, we would like to thank our battle map sponsor, Battle Maps, who have over 300 battle maps to download on Drive-Thru RPG. Right, let's get down to it, shall we? The last time our players played the Shadow of Vecna, they came to realise that the deal they made with Gratz, Prince of the Demons, or so he thinks he should be called, they thought, if we'll stay out of his way, he'll stay out of ours. That sounds pretty neat. Little did they know how many fingers and how many pies our Lord of Seduction has. And they found themselves a little bit stumped, first going to the barracks to stop the poisoning, which they had successfully done the cycle before. But there was no assassins this time. And then they were like, yes, let us go to the temple. Only to be reminded that yes, there was a deal and that they should stay out of the Lord Gratz's way. Our players were scratching their head. What do they do now? But at least something good came out of all of it. For Gratz did gift the sentient sword of Kars to the party. And then the day ended, and once again they found themselves in the shadow of Vecna's statue, where we begin our day. Well, not really begin our day, because you guys really kind of realise that the day is happening and you don't know what to do. So I think you are outside the temple. Take it away while I mist myself down. It is hot.
Okay, well, it seems unfortunate that this demon has many more machinations, I suppose, than I had originally thought. So, If we can't go to any of the destinations, I am at a loss as what to do.
Do you think? Do you think we're just going to get the same deal that we had at the temple in here? Going to be sat there at some table, looking smug, saying, "Oh, we were expecting you. Here we are. Yeah, yeah."
I mean, that's my fear, and I don't want to have to deal with any more smugness because my smug level is at the top right now.
Okay, sorry,
I'm all filled up on smug.
Could be riding on my elk.
All right, we have one of those now.
Yep, for a while.
By the way, you hated the name last. You hated that name I gave him, so I renamed him.
I don't care. What are we doing next?
The suspense is killing me.
And then Bash like smacks Diveris in the shoulders, like, don't encourage him.
But if we get any more sour, we're all gonna shrivel up and die.
At least we'll be out of this goddamn city.
Like a fine wine.
We won't though. We'll just be back at the start. Now, I mean, there's still places we haven't been, right?
I don't know who is in charge of the map. I forget.
Well, Sprite had it in the bag of holding. Sprite, give it here. Stop. Look at. I got it. Yeah. Well. So here's, and it shows down to Bash. So here's the here's the map here, right? So there's the we're up here at the top, right? There's the Mage Tower there, and there's the docks over there, and it's down. So that must be the main square. We haven't been. I mean, the only time we went south is when we went down to the gate to fight that time.
Right. Do you think the orcs have some sort of shitty demon friend that's going to tell us we can't kill them either?
Only one way to find out.
Well, didn't they say in the temple when we were in there that the orcs were nothing to do with them?
Yeah, I believe everything that those demons say for sure.
Well,
I don't really.
I know, but I mean, we've got nothing else to do. Really, may as well go and find out. I mean, what's down? Isn't like there's the council house, like there's the council chambers there on the main square,
right? I mean, do you think
what are the bigwigs doing? You know, what are they? How are they involved in all this?
Do you think the bigwigs of this town are doing anything other than smoking drugs and fornicating? Because I don't. Because look at this town; it's a mess.
I mean, well, if they're busy, then maybe we can sneak up on them and find out some stuff without them realizing we're there and Gratz, like knowing that we're there.
I feel like Gratz will always know where we are, and Bash like lifts up the sword and it's like, I feel like this might tell him.
So you think it was like a double-edged present?
I mean, it's a long sword, so yeah, it does have two. Oh, I see. Yes, that's right.
Huh?
Double edge.
Yeah.
Clever. I always was confused why you didn't join the bardic persuasion there, my friend. All right.
Double-edged staff.
Not a musical bone in my body. Shame,
But
really.
your wordplay is phenomenal. You don't have to sing to be a bard. It's a misconception, actually. There have been great orators that were bards, and just as persuasive and powerful with their magics by speaking long-wittedly about things like swords being double-edged. Let's go.
I could talk forever.
That is why I was confused. That's why you didn't.
Diveris is going to try and shamble up the giant elk. And after he fails miserably a few times, he's gonna look to Bash for her help.
So yeah, Bash like picks you up by the waist and sets you on the elk.
You don't have to make it seem so patronizing, but thank you.
I didn't say a goddamn thing. I just picked you up. I'll put you on the elk. I'm sorry that my actions seem patronizing. I apologize.
And then you just see like a long, pointy, bony finger point past Airfor, like point past your vision, totally in the wrong direction. Let's go.
Yes, and it wheeled the elk round by the antlers.
Right.
Right. So down to the south.
Right. Let's attempt this. And Bash like rolls their eyes at how horrible Diverse's sense of direction. We're in a city, for Christ's sake, Diverse. You should at least know your directions. Here, the woods, not so much, but come on.
Don't question my methods.
Fine.
Ah, I see. Yeah, some of that reverse psychology stuff. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So, Bash, do you think you can keep up?
I know I can keep up.
Aha, we'll see. Elkminster, away!
Bash refuses to walk or run after you because of the name that you gave that elk, and instead slowly trots, sighing the whole way. Oh yeah.
So you head to the southern gates, do you?
All right.
We're thinking down towards the council area, council district.
Okay, so you go back to the centre of the town, past that bloody statue, the temple, and of course you can see the town hall. And just beyond the town hall, where all the posh, gated, it's like a gated community basically, where all the large, gleaming, overly clean, beautiful houses are.
Disgusting.
Do you remember what time it is?
I know
When
we
we
wake
went
up
to
at
the-
4.
Yeah, you wake up at 4.
When we went to the temple, it was 5. Remember that.
Excellent.
When we first arrived at the temple, it was 5. You said.
And then we went to the front of the mage tower, and this is where we decided to turn around and go back. So 6, maybe? I don't know how long it takes to decide to not go into the mage tower and then also travel back down through the town.
I talked for a good 20 minutes.
Alright, cool. No, just making sure that the war horns haven't signed off yet. They haven't.
Okay.
Each
Okay.
one of these flat-roofed buildings seems to compete with its neighbour in both grandeur and decoration. The outside of them are decorated with elaborate mosaics of filigree patterns. Each seems sleepy, undisturbed. The biggest of these buildings is found in the centre. Grander, more ostentatious. It even has pinnacles of gold on its gated entry. In fact, you think you recognise one of the guards standing outside of it. Did you not see him in the Temple of Pleasure?
The Temple of Pleasure being the actual
place you
temple,
met,
or
yeah, the place you met, the place you met Gratz.
Okay. That's still both of them.
The abattoir of humans, I feel like, is probably what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd like turn around to Diveris behind me on Elkminster there, and I'm like, Diveris, isn't that one of the cultists that was
Oh,
down
bloody
the sewers?
bloody hell! It better not be, but it looks like it is.
Right.
At the very least, we can talk to him.
If he's guarding that place, then maybe the people that live there in the cult as well.
Likely. Would you like to lead the conversation?
Well, what are we trying to find out?
Well, is this under Gratz's purview as well? Which I think we already know the answer, but maybe maybe the cultists will let something slip.
Okay. Bash, can you think of anything? Is there anything else you want to ask?
Yeah, where's Gratz's Achilles heel, which is a hero in the folklore of Dragon Island, where his mother dipped him in a cauldron but missed his heel, and that was the only spot that you could hurt him on. Great dragonborn, fantastic hair, little puffed up, but it was, it was a wig, because dragonborns don't really grow hair normally. He just weird gold locks that he shaved from a human captor for years. Everybody knew, but no one said anything. But he was buff.
Bash.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. It's the hair. I was so entranced with the locks. Right. What we were gonna ask them about going into the noble or just sneaking past them. Did we want to just stab them? And Bash grabs the sword and is just like,
what is that sword doing to you?
Morning.
I'm tired of this place. I want to leave. Can we just stab our way to freedom? No.
I fear not.
Stab our way to freedom.
It's the D&D tried and true method. I don't understand how.
We tried that at the bakery.
And that guy kicked the shit out of us too. That was great. We should go back there and talk to him. Maybe he'll want to join our cadre.
Our bake squad.
We could intercept the poisoners at the barracks and then get the poison into the bread in the bakery.
And then kill everybody in this town? Wait,
Arafor has gone dark.
Yeah. Are you sure the sword isn't talking to you about wanting to murder people? Because it's not really,
Sorry, I think I've become a bit flippant with it because everyone's just going to come back the next morning.
Wait, no. Okay, before we talk to this demon prince's guard here in the noble, I feel like maybe we should explore this as an option. If we murder everyone in this town, is there any more pleasure for him to seek out? You know what I mean? Like everyone.
Well,
yeah.
Doesn't the orc army accomplish that every single day? Every single day, the orc army comes in and wipes everyone out.
Yeah, but what if we kill the orcs too, though?
But we can't.
I don't know. I feel like this idea of poisoning everyone all at once, maybe it's not a good idea. I don't know. Sorry, my mind I was lost on Akali, the Dragonborn's hair, and then also the idea of poisoning buns.
I mean, she's a bit vacant, but that seems a bit harsh. Well, you can see the reactions there. Look at that. Now,
I am getting. I mean, look. Ask whatever you want. I don't know why we're even here. The Mage Tower seemed like a choice that made sense to me, but now we're here. We're gonna hang out with the hoity-toities.
The Mage Tower was a dead end.
Dead end, schmed end. We could have at least stabbed somebody or done something that is not.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's not productive, but also.
Cass, is Bash in there? Can we speak to her, please?
Bash isn't available right now. She's busy enjoying the forest.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm gonna hop off Elkminster. Say tumble to the ground.
Catching.
Wipe myself off the dust, and I'm gonna walk over to the cultist.
Oh, it wasn't muted. Sorry, you were just listening to my typing and me chuckling and my fan, so sorry about that. As you approach, their spears get a little straighter. They seemingly salute you.
A salute, not like threatening.
No, not threatening at all.
Ahoy, ahoy, a pleasurable morning to you all. I say to them.
And a pleasurable morning to you.
Tell me, might this also be under the purview of the greatest Lord of Pleasure, Gratz?
This is the House of Godwin. No, you have not met Godwin. Don't check your notes. He said that you may arrive this morning.
So Bash is standing behind Diveris in the most Toshira Mifune pose that she can muster, 7 Samurai style, with like the sword across her shoulders, and she's like balancing her hand on it, and she's just listening.
Diveris turns around to see this and just like shakes his head and just goes back. So we've been expected.
Indeed. Please,
And I just motion to the others. Arafor, you might have to leave Mr. Minster out here.
Oh.
I don't think he can fit through the front door. He can lick one of the golden pineapples.
Yeah, they're not. They're not real. Don't try to tie them up.
And I think Bash like actually reaches in their bag and grabs a bag of food and just like leaves it next to the elk's head. It's like, you don't just leave it and tell it not to eat fake pineapples. Actually get it something to eat. And it's just like a bag of oatmeal that it just like sets down and walks off.
The elk is appreciative of this and starts to chomp down.
I turn to Diveris and it's like, he's been watching us do this for years. He still doesn't understand. It's just not real.
So Bash, one moment you're talking about killing the entire city. The next moment you're worried about a giant fey elk that has no stomach going hungry for a couple hours.
Oops.
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Look, this elk is as real as anything else.
Well, looks like we've got an invite.
I walk inside.
So the first little arched square of this building, just imagine it's built in Minecraft for a second. And inside, as the sun just starts to peek over the horizon and hits inside this room, it illuminates as it is completely covered with mirrored tiles. in various beautiful patterns. Almost seems to gleam as if it's made of gold. And you step into what can only be described as a courtyard, trickling fountain, classical columns, erotic decor on the floor. You hear giggling behind screens, but you don't see anyone, or really see any real movement. The walls here are high. You can't see the city outside, but you can see the endless pink-stained sky. Led further in to lounging chairs, more fountains, which seem to give everything a nice chilly air to it. You're led up some narrow stairs to a grand study, where there are not books that line the walls, but scrolls in little triangle domiciles, stored carefully. And it seems to go on forever. You can see a tiny little desk and a red rug trimmed with gold, of course, and a man there, bald, loinclothed, his beard neatly trimmed around his chin and mouth. And even though he wears thick eyeliner, he smiles at you. His face wrinkles, aged with both sun and time. He stands up. He offers you large sofas in front of a low-sat table filled with dates and sweet teas, things dripping in honey. Ah, the master's friends. We wondered when you would turn up.
So you were expecting us?
Our Lord and Master saw it fit that he would come visit me early this morning, inform me of your deal, your impending friendship, and how I should offer my aid.
And we will offer our ears.
Come, stop standing there loitering. Sit. I promise nothing's poisoned.
Your humor is quite macabre. I sit down.
Bash does not. Bash stands there and sort of takes the sword and starts like running it across the bookcases as they're walking down this hallway, like leaving like etchings in it, and just sort of like swinging it and like not ruining any of the books or scrolls, but just kind of like drops it on the ground and starts tracing a line through the carpet, and so it's like splits the carpet, and it's just kind of like general mayhem. And when they say sit, Bash kicks the chair over and lops off one of the legs and just stands there.
This is what a temper tantrum looks like from Bash.
Your friend's menacing, aren't they?
He's adjusting to his new companion.
Or perhaps she's just unraveling, maybe.
Likely. Probably both.
What kind of aid would we want from you?
Oh, I'm the leader of the House of Pleasure. So you can thank me for ending the plans for the poison, and for everything else I will do to keep us out of your way, as my lord commands.
So hearing this, Bash starts circling around the table and the chair that this person is sitting at, just slowly and nonchalantly.
I'm going to keep my eye on Bash, make sure she doesn't do anything rash.
Strangely enough, Godwin doesn't seem unsettled. Seems to ignore this strange, destructive behavior.
So, do you have a title, Godwin?
Yes, I am the prophet of the shining path.
Well, Prophet Godwin, what other hands have you removed from pots in this city that we can thank you for?
Oh, I've dealt with our sleeper agents in the tower, sleeper agents in the guards, the ones at the gates, the ones in the Thieves' Guild. Pretty much anyone and everyone who's in this city that may get in your way as you try and find your way home, my lord says. You do look like a strange bunch.
So Bash stops, and you hear the sound of the sword dragging on stone, and that stops. And then Bash leans down, and right next to Godwin's face is like, do you know what number of loops you're on?
I'm sorry, loops?
Yes, the city restarts itself at dawn every day, and you've been living this same place, this same time, for countless days. If you have control over this city and you're able to stop this many plans, I suppose your great Lord and Savior has not told you how many times he's watched you suffer and die.
Godwin's brow furrows. And then looks
They don't
at
even
you,
know it.
and then looks to you, Diverus. Your friend is quite unhinged, I think.
A hinge, perhaps, but in the know, she is.
Well,
I take it you are not in the know.
I know all my lord requires me to know. If he doesn't require me to know about these so-called loops. Although I still taste the dolphin from yesterday's dinner on my tongue.
And Bash licks the side of his face and is like, and I can still taste your fear.
Oh, darling, that's not fear you taste.
Doesn't sound like your lord needs you to know what useless, worthless little playthings you are to him either.
Of course we're playthings to him. We serve him to his many pleasures. And he in
To what
turn
end, though?
bestows many gifts on us. I mean, look at this. The grandest house in all of Fleeth. And I a mere trader.
He is getting a really good deal because he doesn't have to give you anything else other than what happens today. So this house, great. That fish you ate, fantastic. But there's no progress. There's no growth for your power. It's just eternal servitude with no reward outside of what you already possess.
Some would say eternal servitude is its own reward. But I'm surprised at you. I mean, what, you just came here to persuade me my lord and master's bad? I see him for everything he is. The both kindness and cruelty. And I enjoy it. So you are barking up the wrong tree, my friends. But I am still here to aid you if you so request.
Let's make it simple then. Aid us, and we'll be out of your hair for the day.
2 at most.
Then tell me, what is it that you would like to know? How can I aid you? I mean, I can make you plenty comfortable. Any whim or desire you should want, I can provide.
What can you tell us about Vecna and Vecna's role within this city? Beyond the obvious.
It has been quite a few decades since anyone had heard from Vecna. Since his fight with Kars, the traitor. And Bash, you kind of feel the sword stir. But he does that, you see, disappears for a decade or two, comes back.
So if your lord, master's end goal is the heart of Vecna so that he can take his rightful place amongst the other deities, what can myself and my true companions do to help him along his path? And the sword kind of like, so Bash leans back and then the sword sort of takes her place on like the edge of his chair and just like tapping it against, not touching him or his neck, but just kind of like tapping the back of his chair.
Do you intend to knight me, darling?
There's a lot of things that this sword wishes would happen to you. Knighthood is not even on the list.
The heart of Vecna, hand of Vecna, eye of Vecna. I've even heard of a head of Vecna. Many of the Lord's earthly parts, should we say, exist here in the material realm. Each one a bit of him, a bit of his power left behind. My Lord and Master has made no mention of desiring it, for if he did, it would be his already.
And so Badge like laughs, like all of the behavior up until this point has seemed sane compared to like this laugh that just like peels out of her, and she's just like so not only does he not tell you that you're forever trapped in this godforsaken city, he doesn't even tell you what his true purpose is here, this great lord of yours. He's here for the heart. He's here for his divinity. And you're just stuck here playing with your base desires. This is pointless. We will get no information about how to earn our freedom from this worm. And she'll walk the other way around the desk. And
Madam, I believe it is you who do not know my lord's desires. There are many ways to divinity. That heart is not one. But as I can be no use to you, please eat, drink to your fill. You know the way out. And he rises, gives a little bow, and moves to the right, where he pushes back a curtain and disappears.
so,
Well, might we perhaps scour the town in search of the hand, head, and other potential body parts of Vecna?
surely they can't all exist within this one town. That seems preposterous.
Why else would they seal a town away from the rest of the material plane? Unless it was all here.
But one item that would cause you to earn your divinity seems like enough reason to hide a place away, like 4 or 5. That in one place?
And
What sort
Alpha
of-
looks back from, he's over by the table. He's just like, yeah, he just said that they're all in the material plane.
Right.
Yeah, they're here somewhere in this world. I think only the only the heart's here.
Didn't you learn anything, Arafor, from our trials in the temple?
This is good. Let's try it.
And so Bash is like, right, what's our next plan? Where are we going next? Are we going deeper into this corrupt, noble part of the city? I don't understand what we're doing here.
Well, we learned one useful thing there, that all the plans have been called off. So
We learned
Maybe-
a couple of useful things. The plans have been called off. We've also learned who's in charge of them. So, should we find ourselves in a position where we reject Gretz's offer, we now know who to undermine. If we stop Godwin at the source, we can prevent a whole number of things rather than running around town.
yeah, if we
Doing
get
them
here
one by
early
one.
enough.
And if
Correct.
he was telling the truth, the little weasel, who knows?
Correct.
But yes, I feel like cultivating him as a source would be useful, or stabbing him through the face would also be useful.
I mean, if we do it in order, yeah.
Yeah, obviously information first, then stabbing.
Oh, yeah.
While we're having this conversation, I'm going to ritually cast Detect Magic, and I will keep it up as we leave the building and head outside.
Okay. So immediately after the 10 minutes have passed, you in the room sense magical scrolls dotted all over around.
For those 10 minutes, can Bash actually, like, look at the scrolls and try and read any of them.
Oh yeah.
Not the magic ones, but like, I mean, Bash wouldn't know which ones are magic or not, but I'm not saying specifically the ones that Diverse finds, but like Diverse is like, time to find stuff, and Bash will just like wander around and pick stuff up at random and like look through it and try and figure out what's going on in some of this stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to give the room a once over as well, if we're hanging out.
I mean, we're going to be here for 10 minutes. We might as well do something.
Yeah.
Bear with me. I have a list of book titles.
And remember, the grossest erotica will be in the one labeled like taxes 2005 through 2008 or something like
Definitely not porn.
that. Yeah, for sure not erotica, underline exclamation point.
Okay.
Would you like a roll to see? Or...
Yeah. 1 minute. I've got my first one. Just need my second one.
This makeup also, just so everybody knows out there who's very curious about how terrible this looks, it bleeds on everything, so now this entire desk that I'm sitting at is now green.
You're melting.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even, wow. I was completely coated, and I did 2 coats, and it still just peels off, and it's like, you buy our special remover, because this stuff is impossible to get off. I'm like, tell that to this table, and tell that to, like, my socks, which are now green, too. I mean, it's just... Anyway.
Okay. Roll me, so those of you looking at the books, roll me D100. Twice, but slowly, so I can tell you.
My first one was a 38.
The Life and Times of Volo. It seems to be an autobiographical book featuring exaggerated and often blatantly false adventures of the well-travelled Volo.
He's very well travelled.
How incredibly dull. Next. 33.
Cooking in the Wild, Volume 3. Basically, it teaches you how to create a bonfire, and you can cast the bonfire cantrip at will.
So, at that, Bash will like pick that book up and start reading it, and will reach into their pack and take out like a piece of charcoal, and is going to start making notes and underlining things and crossing things out in the book. Like, no, this isn't how this would work. And they're just pretty much going to correct whatever's in this book that they don't think is. And this, like, they are obsessively absorbed in this book, uncharacteristically to their surroundings. So, like, Volo's, she just kind of, like, throws it over her shoulders, like, whatever, that's lame. But then this book, she, like, picks up and she's like, what is this? And starts, like, crossing out bonfire. Like, nope, that's not how this is not the kind of killing you would use. What kind of woods are these people using? Anyway, so. And they're muttering to themselves the whole way about.
And she says some of that out loud, and like, yeah, and then Arafel will like come by as he's like looking around the rest of the room. He's like, oh yeah, look at that bit.
Arafel, while you're looking around the room, you are drawn to a very interesting statue.
What can I see?
It's a phoenix with a great peacocked feathered tail, wings spread out, rising from the ashes, gilt in gold, rubies for eyes, and giant rubies almost as big as your head in its peacock tail.
I was supposed to say diverse, but no, he's busy. Bash, look at this, it's beautiful.
I don't understand what are they using to start this fire with? I don't. It's okay. So it's magic. Okay, all right. But
Nah,
like
he's busy.
the
She's
kindling,
busy too.
and so right, and so Bash is like muttering to themselves. Now, how long do I have to read this book to learn create bonfire? Because I will
Yeah,
do it.
a short rest.
Okay. So you say, look at the statue, and Bash like snaps the book shut and like looks around and is like, oh, that is magnificent. And they'll pay attention to what you're saying. It's just this book, ever since the temple, I feel like Bash is like hyper focused on things inordinately amounts.
Like we promised Kratz that we wouldn't mess with him, but we can mess with his followers, right?
I mean, if all the machinations are called off, what's Godwin good for other than like boning and groaning? I don't know. I just. So, yes, is my answer to that. Like, I don't know.
Boning fish for dinner? What?
I mean, yes, I think Gratz probably has this leader of his pleasurites bone his fish for him.
So I think it's good that these nobles don't, lose touch with the day-to-day grind of things. They don't want to get their servants to do everything.
It's true.
I just noticed that everyone's in the wrong window. Yay! By the way, Diveris, once your spell's finished, this beautiful statue that Arafor is looking at seems to resonate with conjuration magic.
Arafor.
Yep.
You believe in divine signs and omens, correct?
Absolutely. Especially
That's
furry
that-
ones.
That statue is one of them.
Hmm?
Take it.
Don't have to ask me twice. Hey, Sprite, come over here.
Put this in the bag of holding, kid.
Can I have a look at it and try and see if I can figure out anything about it?
What would you like to figure out?
I mean, I'm also very in tune with magics, if not studied in them. Is there any way to figure out what it does, or to?
Can you cast Identify?
No.
I mean, if you have a specific question that you want to ask me about it, I will let you roll an Arcana check and answer it, apart from what does it do?
Does it
Is there
require
any-
attunement?
It doesn't.
Does the phoenix like have any connection, like symbology wise, with a certain kind of magic or a certain spell?
Roll me an Arcana check, please.
Okay.
Resurrection.
That is a total of 8. Solid.
Fire, you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from the flames.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did anything else come up on my radius?
No, not in this room, no.
Okay. I will leave the room and I will go back to where I saw all those triangular scrolls.
Cool. Okay, cool. So some of them are magical.
Okay. I'll just take them.
All of them?
Yes.
Roll me a d10, please.
Sure.
Look at the shopping trolley.
Yeah,
7.
You can have 7 of them. You only find 7 for some reason. The others
Khan,
stop being.
come here for a second.
Are you guys doing anything with the statue? You're leaving it on its plinth?
I mean, if Air 4 doesn't pick it up immediately.
Yeah, well, no, I was going to. Yeah, how big is it?
You could lift it. I mean, it's big. Like the size of my fan, which is about this big.
Okay, but can it fit through the the entrance of the bag of holding?
Yes.
Yoink.
You touch it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Suddenly everything goes dark.
Oh no.
For
Oh yes.
everybody.
Oh no.
And I need everyone to roll me a Constitution saving throw, please. Before we come back from the break and find out what happened.
Natural one.
Okay, you don't wake up.
Damn it.
19.
17.
Okay. Out of 4, you don't wake up either, but Bash does. Kind of fitting. So guys, we are going to take a quick break because I am hot. I've also drunk 8 glasses of water and I need a bathroom. So you go have a bathroom break too. Stretch your legs, stay cool, get a drinky, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Don't forget your meds, kids.
just unmuting everything, everyone. Hi, we're back. We're back. Did you have a drink? Did you go toilet? I'm about to run out of water. Should have got top up. Oh well. Let me just mist myself up. You are watching the Greyhawk channel, and I am your DM for the next little bit, and this is Shadow of Vecna. The party have been discussing various ways that they could destroy the town, because I think they're in that kind of mood. Obviously, they can do anything they want. This is their sandbox. They can build as many castles or destroy as many castles as they want. But in the meantime, just before the break, Arafor decided to grab a statue of rebirth. And everything kind of blinked out of existence for a moment. And Bash, you were the first to come round. Your head is a little bit foggy. Almost as if something is tampering with your memories, and you wake up in a beautiful forest glen. There's a little dingly down, a babbling brook. Sun is shining through the leaves and those perfect little sunbeams that I used to believe was God when I was a child. Your party's not with you. Wait, did you even have a party? Feel the breeze against your scales. Feel the freshness of the water. Everything is calm, peaceful. You're at one with nature here.
How similar to Bramblewood is this?
As you seem to think that, things shift in your mind, or is it your vision? You can't quite tell. And it is the exact replica of Bramblewood, sorry.
Was I cognizant of that shift? So, like, did I know that I did that with my mind?
Roll me an intelligence check, please.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Don't worry, everybody.
Paladin.
Definitely high on my thing. I got a 4.
No. You were like, is this Bramblewood? It is Bramblewood.
It is Bramblewood. Okay. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, Bash will just do immediately what they always do when they're in the Bramblewood and start setting up camp and looking for the nearest stream to fish at. Now, my question is the Sword of Kos here with me?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So where Bash would reach for, like, their trident to go fishing with, the sword is there, and it's like, what is going on?
1 minute, the sword has to roll an intelligence check.
Yep. That might be what I was going with when I rolled a 4. It has an intelligence of 15, so...
Thank you for reminding me. Plus 3, right?
No, it would be plus 2,
Thank
16.
you. Okay, roll. It rolled a 13. So you grab the sword, and in its usual huffy manner, sadly the sword could not be with us today. And it immediately calms. It did not make the check.
Okay, so when I think, this sword isn't a trident, does the sword turn into a trident?
No, it does not.
Okay, all right. And so I'm holding this and I'm like, what is going on? why would I ever bring this out into the woods? This is useless. Slings it back and was like, fine, I'll just go fishing on my own. And so Bash like finds the nearest stream and just starts stripping off all of their clothes and gear, and is just gonna dive in and hunt fish
Like a bear.
Barracuda style. Yeah, I mean it'll just get in, swim around, and just like capture fish.
So, Bash, this is your fantasy. Obviously, set the scene for you. Is there anyone with you?
No,
Do you have-
nobody is here.
Okay. So it's just you in the woods. Alone.
And then, yeah, I mean, this will continue for a long period of time if that's what the illusion is about.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the first person that I would want to see or who would come in would unfortunately be the one person that's not here right now. So I think it would be, because really our group is the only people that Bash ever hangs out with. So it would be Arafor, and then Diveris would be last in like the people that Bash would want to see hanging out in the woods. But it would be, I mean, it would be Karn first, but Karn's not there. So.
Yeah, so Khan arrives, greets you, asks if you caught anything that's any good.
Some of these are a little bit scrawny, but I'm hungry enough to just eat them raw, really. But we can start a bonfire here and get some cooking going.
Arafor joins after, but it's not our Arafor. For this Arafor's never too far behind his sister. And as you're locked into this illusion, we will move to the real Arafor. Arafor, please describe for us your deepest desire.
Um,
And Diveris' question's coming to you, so you can think about it.
I think
Where would you be?
just back where he grew up with Karn in the Dapplewood, where their parents were, and just kind of like running through the forest, trying to keep up with Karn.
Okay, so
But-
you come to in your homeward forest, and you see Khan ahead of you, telling you to keep up, Sprite, which is going to leave you behind. Once again, a beautiful spring day. Breeze against your flesh. The sun shining through the leaves. The canopy. As you're chasing Khan and unfortunately being left behind because Khan is very fast, you do pause for a minute and wonder what you were doing before this. You seem to have no memory. Not waking up this morning, not having breakfast, not what your mother said to you. Roll me an intelligence check, please.
Intelligence check. Okay. 18.
Weren't you in a city? The memories are so fuzzy against your mind, but there they are, the visions of the people you met, the assassins, Kratz, you were in the mayor's, not the mayor's house, Wolfgar's house. You were in the prophet's house, that's right, and you just grabbed. The last thing you remember was grabbing the statue. Why are you in the forest?
I'd stop chasing Khan and like just look around and try kind of really inspect, with my penchant for illusions. I really inspect my surroundings.
Okay, you certainly can. Roll me an Arcana check.
Okay. $18 again.
Yeah, you are utterly surrounded by illusions. Nothing is real. Not even Khan running ahead of you is real. And as you seem to make this realization, a little outline of a door appears in front of you.
I'll nose towards it, kind of try it.
It opens into what can only be described as nothingness, except for a golden path goes out in front of you and spreads out left or right. Which way would you like to go?
I'm gonna let the dice decide. Right.
Okay, you go right. You follow this path before you two come to another door. But just before you open it, Varys, please describe to us your deepest fantasy.
So Diveris finds himself seated in a thick, comfortable lounge chair with a pedestal right next to him, with a hookah currently just bubbling at his side, and he's just releasing these plumes of multicolored smoke that come out of his mouth. And you realize that he's sort of sitting on a platform, kind of a stage within an amphitheater. And then you just see a whole crowd of people kind of rise up and applaud and just give him all sorts of admiration and adulation. And you can see people are nudging each other and just heaping praise upon him. And he kind of puts the stem of the hookah down, and for the first time, just you see a smile across his face. And it's this very crooked, twisted thing, almost like he doesn't quite know how to do it.
Excellent. And once again, you two, what were you doing on this stage just before you got here? Intelligence check, please.
That's a 6.
What does it matter? These people, your fans, the crowd adore you. You are where you are to belong forever. Is there anyone else here with you? An assistant?
If you look closely at the people in the front, first of all, you can clearly tell that the people in the audience are clearly mages and wizards. They got the appropriate attire and spell books and all that stuff. But there are a few people in the front that bear a healthy resemblance to Diveris, possibly family of some sort.
Okay. Does anything else happen for the show? No?
Just a single tear.
Okay. You finish the show, the curtain comes down. The crowd shouts for an encore, but not tonight. You're tired tonight. And you, in fact, have dinner with your family, who wait for you in the side wings to change out of your attire, redress. And here is the point where Arafor opens the door and you're in a theatre.
Can I see Diverse?
Not immediately, no. You're just in a theatre, the backstage. Looks like you've opened a door to a closet.
Okay, I'll step out. Can I see beyond my immediate closet?
Yeah, so as I said, you're in the backstage. There's like loads, it's quite busy back here. You know, you see a director talking about the staging. You see people up in the rigging. You see people preparing costumes. People warming up, practicing. And there goes past you, Diveris.
Diverse?
He turns kind of like bashful. But Arafor, splendid! I'm so glad you could make it.
I mean, it is splendid, isn't it? Have you ever seen anything on this scale?
A few times before from the other end when I was in the audience.
What, illusion magic this strong?
But no, ceremonies. A graduation of sorts.
No. None of this is real. Look.
At this moment, your family approaches. Who is in your family, Diveris?
I mean, I have an extended family of mother, father, and then one sibling for each school of magic. So conjuration, evocation, transmutation. So whatever, 8 or 9 siblings.
Okay. A lot. Your mother and father come up to you. They rest a hand against you warmly. Diveris, your mother says. Oh, we were so proud of you.
Put a hand back on my shoulder. Thank you.
Has Diveris ever talked about this? About the problems with his family to us?
No.
No, I don't think so.
And who is this, your little friends?
This is one of the greatest illusionists I know. Arafor.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to meet you, Arafor. Will you be joining us for dinner?
Come, you must.
Well, I just ate back at Godwin's place. Do you remember
Sure,
Godwin's place?
No.
I'm really torn.
Come. You can tell us over dinner.
Diveris looks so happy. I'm just like, oh no.
Break my heart. This is how Diveris the evil gets created.
Can I snap him back to reality by minor illusioning a frown onto each family member's face?
Yeah, you can. You can try.
Couldn't do more than one at a time. Diverse, where's Bash? Where did she go?
I assume Bash is doing what Bash does best. Living her best life.
Sprite was with me, but they ran away. They got ahead of me. I couldn't keep up.
I'm sure she's just out going off for a good run. She's the athletic type.
Diveris, we really must hurry, otherwise we're going to lose our table.
Right, of course. Arafor, come, we can talk while we walk.
Great, I trap my players in an illusionary desire world and none of them can break out of it. Yay! I love it. I love it when my traps go so well. Always too well.
I mean, I feel like if Arafor was more of a jerk here, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but This
Yeah,
nicey pansies here. Like, oh, it's so nice to see him happy. I don't want to
this
hurt
was Bash. We'd be back like
Yeah.
40 minutes ago.
I would have
Exactly.
already used the sword to kill his family. Just kidding there.
But look at him, he's so happy.
So you were whispered away by this gaggle of diverse family members. Do any of them have poor posture like you? Do all of them have poor posture like you?
No, in fact, Diveris is standing straight up.
Oh, are you younger by any chance?
The weight of the world has yet to fall upon him.
Interesting. So you were whisked away and you go out into a busy street and there is you're led to a beautiful restaurant, large round table where all the family members sit down. A menu is put in front of you.
It's all tobaccos.
It's all tobaccos.
Come. You must try the dragon flame herb. It's got a bit of a kick, but the aftertaste is quite smooth.
You know, I never like this stuff.
Have you seen my new pipe? They gave it to me during the coronation.
Coronation?
Graduation. I got a bit excited. I am the king of illusions.
The vision
My
just,
mind.
jumps 10 notches. I am now the king of the illusions.
My liege.
I'm so glad you could
I think-
join us for dinner.
Adolfo kind of just like steels himself and he's like no, there's no time for this. Diverse,
Therefore,
you are a master illusionist, but this one seems to have got the better of you. This is not real. This is an illusion.
aye. But the lines between what's real and what's surreal is quite blurry.
But we have things to do. Remember where we were. Remember the Phoenix?
Diveris, you know, even though you're here with your family and you're content and happy and the weight of the world is not on your shoulders, you try and remember these things that Arafor is saying to you. It's like something's blocking your memory.
Therefore, I'm hearing you, but I'm not.
Look, Fleef, Vecna.
Yeah, great
That's-
children's stories. Great stories.
Is it not triggering? And I think I'm sorry, you've left me no choice. And Arifo scrambles on his chair and then onto the table, grabs Diverse.
Your
by the-
family gasp at this audacious. This is no way to behave in a restaurant.
Arifo, that's more tavern behavior.
It's like, well, you figments, shut up. Diverse, smack. Snap, smack. Out, smack. Of it, smack.
Your hair looks appropriately whiplashed.
Diverse rises from his table. Therefore, you are a trusted companion and a good friend, but I will not have you ruin this day.
Don't make me knock your pipe out. Is this something that happened? Have you gone back? I mean, I was transported back to being back in my parents' woods with Khan.
Transported? I believe the term is teleportation magic.
But no, teleportations between two real places.
To which your teleportation sibling goes, yes, I've totally heard of that. And then they try and create a debate about how far can a magic circle work, almost distracting away from the topic.
But it's not teleportation. Look, I just came through a doorway and then followed through this pathway to another one, and that led into your vision here.
Yes,
that's not teleportation.
Sometimes people say that there are paths that we travel in between two different places. Yes, this is very fascinating at all.
And have you ever heard of the paths that are a full circle, that loop on themselves?
Diverse, enough time has passed for you to roll another intelligence check.
Can I choose to fail?
Yeah, you can.
No, well, can I? Because that was a natural 20.
You can if you want to fail. I'm not going to force the narrative on you.
No, because we'll just be down this rabbit hole forever. So, something dawns on Diveris, and as these like whispers of memories and information come back, you see him like almost like de-evolving, his spine slowly hunching over, and his face's features sinking in back into that scowl.
Arafo looks physically pained by this. He's like, oh, sorry.
He just doesn't say anything.
Darling, why are you scowling? This is the happiest day of your life.
I realize these are illusions now, right?
Yes, you do.
So I look over to my mom. I just turn my back and walk away.
Diveris, where are you going? And as you leave, you see a little door appear in front of you.
Can I just say that the John all the way over here in Japan, very far away from his parents and family, is not enjoying this at all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Try and arrange a Skype call with them later.
I will walk through the doorway.
Yes, that's what I came through.
Once again, you open up the path, but there is not a left or right this time. There is just one path, which you follow until you open and find Bash in the Dingley Dell. Still fishing?
I think it's moved on, and there's sort of the embers of like a burnt campfire, and it's like the bright, wonderful spring where it's cool but still not cold. And there's like a trash cluttered up in a corner next to the thing, and Bash is like up in a tree and is just like sitting there up in the tree with like what looks like a green leafed cigar, and he's just kind of like puffing on it, and then the plumes of like smoke mix with like her poison breath, and it's sort of a black and purple sort of mix as she sort of like exhales out of her nostrils, and she's just kind of lounging. And I don't know if they see themselves, but Diveris is eventually join the group, and so like Arafor and Karn are kind of playing Chase Me or whatever game that they would play, and are like running around underneath, and Diveris is like picking brambles out of like his robes, and it's just like, I don't understand why we have to be here. This place sucks. Why can't we? All I wanted was mushrooms, and yet now I come out here and Bash is sitting there smoking it. She's just like, you're useful for your talents, my friend. Just get dirty and enjoy it. And so they're just smoking and like not wearing any of their armor, and they're just kind of wearing, plain clothes. Their eyes are closed and they're just sort of contemplating life.
So you see Bash definitely living their best life.
Which is like extremely similar to what we used to do all the time. It has nothing to do, there's no difference, really. Except I think Diveris is less grumpy. I think that's probably like the one thing. Like Diveris is in the woods and is not as like dour.
And as you guys can't see the fake people best you can, but as your party kind of step into your world, they take the place of your illusioned, imagined friends.
Bash, what are you doing lounging around up there?
Enjoying the day and the simple pleasures of a good smoke and good sunlight.
But wouldn't you rather get back to making sure we can enjoy the real sunlight and our real home?
But what I'm feeling now here in this place, I can't tell the difference.
But nothing that we had in the real world is here.
Except
This is all just...
it's peaceful here, Arafor. It's quiet. And I can breathe.
See, you're still stuck with that sword.
And yeah, the sword is like stuck in the ground. Like she's not even like jammed into the ground next to it, and like looks down at it and is like, yeah, Kaz and I have been hanging out. It's not useful for fishing, but it keeps the tedium at bay when you can't find anything good. And I think Kaz like turns to both, not turn, it's a sword, it doesn't turn to you, but it projects a voice out. If this is okay with the DM, I don't want to, but it's just like, yeah, what else was I made for other than to protect these woods from Vecna's influence, right? And like, what better place to do it than here?
These woods don't need protecting.
And Bash is like, well, today, maybe, but other days. We know all about the poaching that's happened here before. They'll come back. And sort of exhales and, has not opened their eyes yet. It's just like lounging.
Arafor decides he's probably got a better chance of appealing to Cass than he has to Bash. And so he's like, Cass, surely you can see this for what this is. There's no Vecna here. There's nothing for you to do.
The sword replies, Vecna is always looming on the horizon.
There is no horizon here.
Bash, I would say enough time has passed for both you and the Sword of Cast to roll intelligence checks.
Bash purposefully fails.
Okay. The sword. Those are 22. Would you... Wait. This forest isn't real.
Cass, come with us. Come with us back.
You see Diver's kind of sitting on his ass, hands over his knees with a stick, kind of poking the embers of the fire, and he's smoking. And as he smokes, he releases this billowing cloud that turns into shapes. You see like a young woman's face that like withers away into a skull, and then like a butterfly that shrivels away into like
Dark.
He's just poking the fire.
So a question for our DM. Because the sword and I can communicate telepathically.
Yes.
Is there any way not to listen to it if it incessantly talks to me? Like if it's just like, hey, no, this isn't real. Hey, because it will change how Bash approaches the situation. If they can be like, no telepathic communication from me and the sword. I don't know if that's like a thing that happens.
You don't have a ring of mind protection or whatever it's called.
Right. Is that what it is? Okay. Yeah. I just wasn't sure if it was like a feature
that stops you being allowed, and you only allow telepathic communication. The only other way that I can think of, off the top of my head, is if you break attunement with it.
Right.
But I don't really remember how that's done. Like
neither do I.
Who was like, I have a fancy item, I don't want to attune. I don't want this anymore. So I'm not sure.
Bash does when they're delusional enough to think that they could stay in this illusion until they die and be happy, and no one's gonna free them.
Yeah, so the sword is gradually getting more abusive anyway in your head.
Okay. All right. So,
and can I try something?
You may.
I would like to try and appeal to Bash's mothering nature and protective nature, and I would walk over to the sword and say, "Oh, okay, Bash, you're good to stay here then. So if Diverse and I are going back, we should probably take this with us." And I'll pick up Cass. Give it a few dangerous practice swings.
Yeah, I mean, you touch the sword and start moving it around, and Bash like flicks the butt of the cigar towards the fire, leaps down, and is just like, no, Airfo, don't touch that. It's dangerous, and you don't want this mad thing talking to you forever, and is gonna try and like wrestle it away from you.
I'll try and leap back out of reach.
Contested athletics versus acrobatics, please.
Okay.
Which one do I get to roll?
Athletics.
Okay.
Since
I was like,
Adolfo is doing the leaping, I would say that's his acrobatics.
Okay. 17.
9.
You wrestle the sword back from Adolfo very easily. It's like taking candy from a baby.
But I always feel bad when I do that because the child cries afterwards.
Diverse looks up from the campfire and just kind of negligently flicks some of the embers. And I'm going to try and cast, I don't know if it'll work in this illusionary realm, I'm going to try and cast Firebolt at Bash.
Okay. Roll to hit. You're not wearing your armor, are you, Bash?
Nope.
22.
Which will hit, because even if I was wearing all of my armor, that would
Yeah.
hit. Okay.
Does Bash actually take damage? Psychic damage.
Yeah, seriously.
Psychic damage.
Sick burn damage.
Oh my god, I rolled really well. 15 points. Sorry.
Oh, cool. No, that's fine. So, like, yeah, I think not paying attention to you because you were being mopey, and seeing like the butterfly shriveling and the death smoke.
Face. Yeah.
Bash like grabs a sword and has their back like completely turned to you, and is like turning around to say something to you about being so macabre in the forest and not to bring everybody else down with their tude. And you catch her full on like in the side of the face, and like I think it just kind of like shears off some of the scales on half of her head, and like bits of the sort of feathery nature of what Bash looks like, I think, just burn off, and so she has like part of her face is just like scorched, and she's like, ah, what are you doing?
Rifle's like,
And I mean, Bash is like coming towards you now with like a sword, who she is trying not to listen to. Is like, hey, idiot, free us from this illusion. And Bash is like, what are you doing?
Davaris will like slowly, lethargically get up and just kind of like stalk towards you.
Okay.
As you're approaching, which is with this like face that looks like it forgot how to sleep, just looks up at you and goes like, some desires are achievable. Yours is, but not today. I'm just gonna keep attacking you, trying to break you out of the mental fog.
Okay. And I think when you say that, not today, there's like a howl of anguish that matches the level of madness that you heard before in the thing, where she just shrieks at you and it's just like, ah! And I'm going to attempt to break out of this because
you may do so with advantage.
okay, first roll 8, no. Second roll 9. Yeah, guys, keep coming.
God damn it.
Look, it's not a
Paladins.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And so, yeah, she shrieks and is just like, it seems pretty achievable now, and is going to take the sword and, like, not hit you with the edge, but, like, slap you with the flat of the blade and try and knock you away.
Can I use my my shield master to intervene?
Yeah, you may. Oh, my plan has devolved into PvP. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, she's intentionally not trying to kill anything.
Yeah.
And so
I
she
know,
smashes.
but you're still a bit singed.
Right. It's true.
So I'll dive in between, like deflect the swipe with my shield, and I'm like, Bash, just remember how you just felt about me playing with that sword. Now, you felt that way about a whole town of people not very long ago.
And again, advantage. Come on,
Okay.
Bash. We believe
I
in
mean,
you.
Bash, you put your shield up, and Bash switches the sword to its edge and just starts beating the shield, like, has forgotten completely about Diveris, and is just, like, hammering on the shield repeatedly. And he's just like, this is my home. Oh, fucking finally. So I rolled a 5, and then I rolled a 20. Thank Christ. So 20. Not natural 20, but just 20.
Yeah, that's enough.
Okay, cool. So the bashing against your shield sort of lessens. Yeah, and like leans back. I fucking hate this place. I want to be God.
Airforce like, strictly speaking, it's mine and Khan's home. But yeah. Let's go.
Not here, Arafor. This town and these fucking Phoenix statues and all this bullshit. Look at what I had. Look at what we could have still been doing. Living and being free of the machinations of demon princes and undead fucking lich pieces of garbage.
And as you grow in frustration, the world shatters, as if made of fragile glass crystal. And as the shards fall about you, leaving you in that empty pit of darkness, you see glimmers of all your desires, all your dreams, all your wishes fall away. And then you see a light, fire in the darkness. And you hear,
I give you sanctuary. I give you solace. And you disrespect my gifts.
the light flares. It trails on the floor, almost like some kind of whip. You see a great horned creature with wings, sword in free hand. I need everyone to roll me initiative, please.
Like,
All right. So, just so everybody knows, because of this sword, I have plus D10 to my initiative roll. Yeah. So, let's roll this.
Today I rolled a natural 1, a natural 20, and a natural 1.
Nice. Evening it out. Wow. Okay, cool. So, my initiative was a 5, which is trash. And then I was like, cool, I'll just add the D10 from the sword to that. I got a 1. This is awesome. Good job, Sword of Kos. You're awesome. So I got a 6.
What did you get, Diveris?
A 0.
Okay, cool. You go last. Out of 4.
well, what I thought was a terrible roll, I actually go first with a 9.
Look, we were all a little bit psychically damaged from that fight, and we all kind of want to go back there, so.
Disoriented.
Well, I guess the Balor's going first, because they rolled a 15.
Oh, crap. I mean, that's fine, whatever. Alright, Sword of Cast plus 3. Sorry, now that I have this new weapon, I actually have to pay attention to things, so if you hear me muttering here, let me mute myself.
Bash, you do have your armor back on, by the way.
Thank you for not making me spend 10 minutes to put it back on. I appreciate that.
Do you want to hear a fun story? My first ever D&D session. I was like, oh, I have traveler's clothes. I'm going to change to my traveler's clothes. Then combat happened in the travel. And then I tried to put my armor back on. In the middle of combat. First session ever. My DM was not impressed, but I was new.
Yeah, I mean, that's why in 3.5 they came up with the crystal system, where you could buy crystals for like 500 gold points that you could put on armor, and then you could just sleep in your armor. And that was like the thing that everyone would buy, because as much as RP realism is cool, getting ambushed in the night by a bunch of wolves, getting tripped 100 times, and then dying was not something that you really wanted to do more than like once.
Excellent. Hey, Bash. Balor attacks you for a multi-attack.
Do I have the hit points back from when I was attacked?
Yes, you do. I'm not going to put you against the battle and be like, you have nothing, have fun. First with the longsword, which will be if it will allow me, 32 to hit.
Yes, that will hit me.
I know. For
You guys, I'm going to go down in one round.
Yeah, I mean, if it has, depending on how much HP it takes, yes.
come on, Paladin. I killed a battle at level 5. I believe in you. You
It
have a
just
plus 3
depends.
sword. I believe in you.
Yep.
Okay, so it's 3d8 plus 8.
Help.
25.
Okay, that's half my HP, no problem.
And now for the whip,
Yep.
which actually misses a natural 1. You're quite lucky.
Wow. Shit. Okay. Cool.
But that was 3d6 plus 6. So and that's it. That's it for its roll. So next is Adolfo.
Okay. He'll just clasp the raccoon head amulet at his throat and just like, Maven, protect us! And he'll cast Spirit Guardians, and a bunch of fey raccoons appear all around us. Tanuki, as we say over here.
I'm thinking of that Studio Ghibli movie. Yeah. Yeah, that one. It's one of my favourites. Not many people know about it, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Raccoon dogs. Cool. What do I need to do with Spirit Guardians?
This is when you start your turn, because is the Baylor already in the zone?
Yeah.
15 feet from.
Yeah.
At the start of their turn, they need to make a save or get damaged.
Okay. Cool. Anything else?
So
for your
nothing
turn?
right. I can't do anything really at the moment, but I'll try and back away. Actually, I'll try. Can I get behind the Baylor, and so that I can try and flank it and help Bash out when it comes to her turn?
Yes, you may. Which is actually Bash's turn now. Right.
Hooray.
Come on, you can do this. I've done this.
Advantage
Okay,
to you
so-
there, Bash.
All right. So obviously we're going to Divine Smite this thing because that seems to be the most applicable thing. Yeah, I have like a plus 10 to hit now with this sword. Okay. And it's a long sword. Does it have... What's the damage on a long sword? D8?
Yes.
I don't actually know. Sorry. I
It
use a
is.
trident.
No,
I use a trident. So
It is.
All right, cool.
1 minute, I'll tell you. Let me just get my paladin up. Oh no, it's actually a D10.
log.
So if it's two-handed, it's D10. If it's single-handed, it's D8.
Yeah, it's
versatile.
single hand.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. So I rolled a 20 to hit.
That hits. I'm quite sure. 1 minute. I've got to swap back.
just
Yeah, it does.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna burn a second level spell
Okay.
on Divine Smite,
Okay.
and then that means +3 from the sword. Sorry, it's just now a lot of D8s that I have to calculate.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't forget your extra demon damage either.
Right, the extra D8 for attacking a fiend, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So I do 2d8 radiant damage, base, 1d8 above the slot, so that's another. So it's 4d8 against a fiend, plus the 3, plus the strength modifier. So I believe this is a 4d8 plus 10.
Sounds about right. Paladins.
And so yeah, Bash like gets hit full on in the face, like jeez, and you know looks at the battle and is like, No, not today. Not on this day. And like the sword glows sort of a green color and side swipe and 29 damage.
So you swipe in this green flame cuts into the wound. It seems to be gushing, almost like fire, molten lava even. It is still standing though. And Diverse, anything else for your turn? Do you not have an extra attack?
I do have a second attack. That's
Yeah,
right.
I advise you use it.
Yes, no, I'm going to. Okay, wait. So when you use Divine Smite, can you only use it once?
No?
Okay. When I hit with the melee attack. Okay, so I'm gonna do this exact same thing then. Burn my other second level spell. Roll 26 to hit. So that hits. Is a 20.
Are you rolling with advantage?
No. Should I be?
Yeah, you should be.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. 26 or 21. No natural 20s. So
Okay,
that's
that
fine.
hits.
Okay. And then
All the
20,
damage.
28 damage. So yeah, thrust in and then like rip out the other side. Sort of in a carrot shape. How you would chop a tree, everybody. If you don't know how to chop trees down, you make a divot in them.
Excellent. Anything else for your turn?
That is everything that I can do.
Okay, then it is Diveris's turn. This thing is looking quite hurt.
Good thing I'm the damage dealer.
Yeah, come on, buddy. Or the
What's-
healer, right?
What's our environment? Are we in the illusionary woods or are we back in the room?
You're just in, I would say, nothingness. A void of everything.
Cool. Oblivion battlefield. Okay. I will cast Magic Missile at 3rd level.
Okay. I don't even know how many whistles that is.
7, 8. A whopping 14 points of damage for a 3rd level spell
Wow.
as he
Yeah.
exhales a cloud of smoke that divides into 5 darts, and then they all just and then I will back away. That's my turn.
Okay. It's the Balor's turn.
So I need a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay, wisdom saving throw. 12.
Yay, fails. So that's 3d8. 3d8 raccoon damage.
Come on, raccoon, you can do it.
You have the arcane rabies.
Which is way
That's,
worse than regular rabies, for sure.
14 damage.
Guys are doing so well.
Yeah.
With these fairies, and you just see this giant thing trying to swat at them. I imagine Faye looking like fairies. I don't know if anyone else does. Right. Balor's turn.
Please let me survive this attack. That's all. You know what I mean?
It's going to hit you. Oh, you're within 5 feet of it.
Am I?
All of you.
Yeah.
I backed away as far as I could. 30
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw something called Fire Aura. I'll activate that at the end of its turn.
That sounds fine.
Yeah. Definitely. It's going to hit you with its longsword. For enough, what is with these ones? Okay, it misses with its sword, bash.
Oh my god.
The gods are being good for you, but it comes again for its whip.
Please.
For a 19.
Yep, that hits.
Okay, 3d6 plus 6.
Jesus. I mean, whatever. That's no big deal. I just have to expend spell slots all day long to be able to do that much damage. Okay. I'm always confused because these things always remind me of the things from Tolkien, right? Like this is what they're supposed to look like, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they're like straight up ripped off. Okay.
Yeah. But they renamed them
Right. Wink, wink.
for 15 points of fire damage.
Okay. I'm still alive.
But it does activate its fire aura, which, Bash, if you do not move out of it, you will take 3d6 damage.
Okay.
Okay? So, Arafor, it is your turn.
Okay. I will.
Trickster clerics with the big heals. Here we come, baby. Huge HP gains.
How bad are you? Are you pretty bad?
I have 13 HP. So
Next.
inevitably, I mean,
Next round.
can I? Yeah. Here's a question. Oh no, never mind. You decided it was necrotic damage. I was like, can I change the resistance that I am to fire? Never mind.
Yeah, it's necrotic.
Yeah. Oh, I can put that on my sheet. Okay.
Okay, so funny story.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have any healing spells.
Right. That's what I assumed. That's why I was joking about it.
So
Potions?
I'm going to summon my my spiritual weapon. So in this herd of miniature fey raccoons all running around and nipping at this thing's ankles and things, suddenly a much bigger one appears.
Fat? Is it fat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
excellent.
Yep.
Nice.
The embodiment of Chitika herself, Beaven's ever present companion, and she just goes straight for it. So that is a spell attack, and that's only a 13.
She misses.
Oh. And then Arafor would like to move away so that they're not in that fiery zone.
Okay, excellent. Bash, your turn.
Okay. Bash is like looking really rough and bleeding, and she like turns to both of her companions. She's like, if this doesn't go well, flee. And she's gonna stay here and attack once. 18 to hit.
It hits.
Okay.
Come on,
I'm gonna expend first level spell slot, so the damage is down by 1d8.
Okay.
24. Wow, I rolled pretty well on that. That was max damage on the longsword.
Nice.
Okay.
And then one more time. Come on. Okay. 28 to hit.
Yes.
Yep. And then another 3d8, another 24 actually.
So, Bash.
Do I burn alive?
Tell us how you finish this battle. But I need everyone to roll me a dexterity saving throw, because after you finishing off this demon, it goes into its death throes.
What's the radius on that?
30 feet.
Ooh,
Can I use Shield Master for this?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can. We're not incapacitated, so we got +2.
Okay, everyone wait. Right, so Bash, describe for us these epic attacks that take the creature down from 27 points of health to 3, and then you overkill it.
Look, I wasn't about to not do that. Hold on, let me just roll this. Cool. Oh, well, I failed that. So I'm going to drop. Anyway, so Bash I think cuts a chunk out of its side with the first move, and then all of the weird creatures, squirrel things, are like distracting it, and so Bash punches it with the edge of her shield in the stomach, and it sort of like flinches a little bit, and her sword comes up and slices off its head, and its head sort of falls off of its body. Uh, and then she immediately dies from whatever this death throw is. Goodbye, everybody. I love you.
Okay. Did
There you go.
anyone?
Da-da-da.
Yeah. It is really good. You should really watch it. Anyway, so did anyone make a 20?
24.
Okay.
No.
20.
My rolls for today were natural 1, natural 20, natural 1, and this last roll, natural 1.
Back up. No, zoom back up again.
This is insane.
It is 20d6 damage.
Oh yeah. Bye bye.
Okay. See ya.
So
I think this might actually just kill me.
Right, I'm probably just halved anyway. You know?
Times the average. That's 60 points of damage,
Yeah,
roughly.
which if they roll high enough will put me at negative 52. It can, which means that I will die instantly from this, which is fine. Look, I killed a demon. It's good. And then I'll turn into a white and haunt the sword forever.
What if the Baylor was the baker?
And that would have been awesome. We'd come back from our illusion world and the baker's just lying there with its head missing. We'd be like, anyway.
58 points.
Holy shit. I barely survived not just dying. Oh, all right.
And yes, you take half as much if you did a successful one, unless you have, of course, Shield Master,
When then you don't take any damage,
where you don't take any damage.
except the 8th degree burns on your arm from when it touches a shield. But, all right, let's just...
Strip along the forearm.
Okay, so I'm at negative 39 hit points. That's fine.
Spare the
I
die.
realize you're out for the count as well, I imagine.
Oh, I am ash and embers.
Did
Just,
it kill you?
just like he lived.
Did it
Pile
kill you?
of.
Up in school.
It was 58.
Yeah.
Well, so no, because I have 34, so 34 doubled is 68.
Okay, cool. We're fine.
Barely.
So spare the dying.
Yeah. So, I mean, trying to take the brunt of the attack, obviously. It's like, ah! And then the shield comes up, but it just doesn't do anything. And the heat just, like, blasts her. And she just falls over, like, disgusting amounts of, like, steam as her meat is cooked inside of her scales, like, comes up. Yeah.
Yeah. And you find yourself back in the room of our dear prophet of the Shining Path. And I thought you're the only one not unconscious.
So they're still down.
Yeah, they're still down. They're down and injured. A lot.
Is there anyone around?
No.
Thank God there's nobody there with a knife to just gut us while we're unconscious and be like, oops.
I have a rummage around in their belongings. Do they have potions of healing?
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I don't.
And in the bag of holding, there should be 4.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I did not write those down. I just have a healer's kit if you need that. But spare
Well,
the
that
dialing.
that just stabilizes. Yeah, so
Yeah.
That's done.
You can totally force feed them potions.
How? It's still really early in the day, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Considering not saving us.
Considering doing some scouting ahead.
Just do
Some,
math and
Two.
so
Two
if
healing
Karn
potions.
takes 2 and I take
What?
2, there won't be left.
Quite expensive.
Maybe I can ask Godwin if he has any healing spells he can just cast on us. That'd be good. He's supposed to help us, remember?
Day of Air Force solo adventures.
Yeah.
Air Force and Elkminster. Do 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 do.
Let's go get some bread. Woo! Yeah.
It is completely down to Arafor.
I am not waking up, and so go ahead.
No, I will.
You sure?
Administer.
You sure?
If I
Yeah,
can
sure.
find Karn, is Karn anywhere to be found?
Khan is there.
Look, look what that thing did to them. Why didn't you help? Oh, come here.
Harsh. Why don't you two go hash it out at a tavern, and we can have like a one-way conversation about how to save your companions at a bar, while the two of us are just like, you can weekend at Bernie's us. We're both like unconscious, like leaning on a bar. With
Not only did you kill the Balor, you broke the fourth wall.
You come round as me and Karn have got you both, and he's like, "Oh, I love you, Bash. Oh, I love you."
The reason that I meet you is because I see so much potential in you, not only as a person, but as a romantic partner.
Pull the chin down.
Oh man, I feel like that would be concerning if you did that, because consent is important, and I want to make sure, especially for Diveris. I feel like he would be the one that would be the most uncomfortable with that.
Is it me and Karn that come? Me and Karn that? Do you consent? Yes, I consent.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
No, of course.
We haven't had Bash's lesson of the day.
I know. Look, I felt like there wasn't one that so.
Clearly there was. What is
Yeah.
consent?
Yep.
Now,
Did you roll the damage? Did you? So the healing? Did you roll it?
No, the healing potions are actually poison. Ah!
So yes, 2d4. So Bash gets 6 hit points.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
And Diveris gets 9.
That's a considerable amount for me.
You guys are very sore.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bash like coughs up blood, is like, oh my, what?
Arafor's kind of like poking at a particularly crispy bit. It's like, ooh,
Ah, jeez.
nasty.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. Painful burns. Do we? It's dead, right? Ah,
Yeah, we got it.
nice. And Bash just sort of like flumps back onto the ground.
Do you want one of those candid doodads?
Don't touch anything in this fucking room. I swear to God.
Okay, it's okay.
Is there any statues of like a giant snowman? Don't touch it. It hurts.
Sorry, it looked so intriguing, and it was so magical, and those rubies. Oh, they were lovely.
Don't touch it again, unless you think maybe those rubies are worth something.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, the DM tempted me with my own online avatar. What was I gonna do? I'm sorry.
It's a good point. Also, do you think it's like a once per day thing? If we put it in the bag of holding, do you think we could just fight a Balrog over and over again? Or,
Do you want to?
Potentially stop an orc army with it.
if we have them all touch it at the same time, it'd be a great trap.
Well, Only
They all hold
Airford
hands as
touched
they go down
it,
the
but
train.
we all got sucked in.
That's true. And not only that, but we have those
Those banners.
banners. We should probably try and do something about this army at some point. I feel like
We're gonna home alone the front gate.
Yeah. Look, I do have 7,000 pounds of marbles, so anyway. So yeah, Bash just like
I'll-
scoots over and like sits up next to one of the bookcases and just like holding themselves like, oh god.
I'll control the mannequin so it looks like there's a party happening.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So Diverse. So yeah, I mean, Bash is like, Diverse, did you make it? Karn, are you okay?
Devers responds by just lighting up his pipe.
You motherfucker. It's so bad for you.
And as you are licking your wounds, wondering if the statue is still active or not, it is here we will end our session.
Nice.
Did you enjoy yourselves?
Emotional whiplash.
Yep, that's true.
Ooh, I just had some deja vu of me telling people, did you enjoy yourselves? And then someone with a husky American accent going, emotional whiplash. Ooh. But I couldn't see their face. They were like in my peripheral vision. Anyway, yeah.
Wow.
I'll change something.
There's a glitch in the Matrix.
Hey, look, a black cat. Oh.
Oh.
You failed your wisdom saving throw.
So yes,
Welcome.
as I mentioned in the chat, when we were having our break, that was for my Curse of Strahd. I was going to have each of the pieces split up, taking homage from Dragon Age Origins, where you have to wander around, try and break
Yep.
them out of their little fantasies.
The only thing that I've ever modded faster in a game was nothing, because that was the thing. That the Fade experience in Dragon Age Origins, I was like, I will never fucking do that again.
Yeah, there's a mod called Skip the Fade. It's number
Yep.
1 on the Nexus.
Yep, exactly. And it's like, download that instantly.
Yeah,
Because crap, the first time I played that, I was like, no, I don't want to go here again.
as a mage.
Yeah. Oh my god. You're just like, nope. Okay, fuck. I'm dead. Yep. Cool.
So, before we go, when we say our
Sorry.
goodbyes, would you like to tell everyone who you are, where they can find you on the interwebs, and what your thoughts were for this section, and what would you like to see next session?
Who are we starting with?
Oh, yeah, maybe that would help. Bash,
Oh, it was just me. Okay, fine.
you
Hello,
it.
everybody. Yeah, I am it. Pretty much all the time. How's it going, everybody? I'm Ran, who plays Bashira Kavakan here. Yeah, I was in a car accident yesterday, and so that is kind of
Yeah, I know,
where
right?
the
You guys
energy-
did the same face as I
yeah,
did.
that is where the energy came from Bash today. Was my brain was not in Bash mode; it was in like, you almost died. Holy shit! So, being a little bit cray is what was going on up here. So I apologize if breaking out of that character was a little too much on the extreme there. But I am shelved the books on Twitter. I'm taking a little break from that because Twitter is a nightmare hellscape that coats my brain in sadness almost all the time anytime I go on there. And it's not healthy for me to obsessively refresh things that hurt me. So just remember, everybody, self-care is important. But if you're looking for more stuff on Twitch, this is the only game I'm in currently, but I do have a couple of friends that play D&D and also are variety streamers. If you want to look up Randomly Generated on twitch.tv, JENN, then they are great, and so is Rose Artemis at twitch.tv. Anyway, sorry for rambling, but again, hard to focus. Anyway, thank you very much. My favorite moment from today was I didn't actually know what Bash was gonna do because I was just like, here it comes, whatever happens. Thoughts in my brain flew to the top, and I'm like, that one. So she almost did stab Godwin in the back immediately, and then decide to set everything on fire. That was kind of the plan.
It's fine. Godwin was
yeah.
prepared with a shield because I sensed it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I pretty much telegraphed that as obviously it could. I mean, yeah, yeah, exactly. And what I would like to see in the future, I think, as weird as this session was, I really like people pushing back against Bash being like, now we do this. And people are like, how about we do something else? Because then Bash has a temper tantrum because they can't handle not being the mother. And it's good. And I like doing that a lot. I'm like, yes, don't do what I say even more. So next session, forward progress. I'd like to be able to really dive into separating like Vecna's plan from the prince's and kind of like see, now that I have a sword that hates Vecna, I kind of want to like ride that line. Anyway, thank you.
Adolfo, you're next.
Hey, thank you everyone for watching again. It was another interesting session. I was feeling some cleric guilt for not having the heals for my party, but I think I came through in other ways. I did rescue them, as saving myself that I may save others later on. Few useful saving throws today. Yeah, it was really fun to go through various visions and different get some insight into the other characters throughout that as well. And nice to have the Phoenix in play. As I say, I am Phoenix Iwaki on online. And the reason I have that Phoenix, I always say, over here in Japan, but I'm not very specific about it. I'm actually over here in Japan, right here in Fukushima. So rising from the ashes and the themes of recovery and bouncing back are very strong in this neck of the woods. It was fun to get into that. So again, like Bash, that ran over there, I'm not in any other games or anything, but I am always on Twitter. I'm loving talking about D&D and everything over there. And I would also like to shout out a couple of other streams that you could partake in. The lovely people over at Castle Mac and Power Score RPG who hosted us again today. Thank you so much. And they are over there, and I know the Power Score RPG guys are currently playing through the adventure in the Acquisitions Inc. book, the new book. Having a good time doing that. So yeah, check them out if you get the chance. And always lots of things going on. And I will look forward to seeing you next time.
Excellent. And last but not least, Mike Adaveris. It was very interesting to meet his family.
Diveris, who plays the human Mike when he's not in that world. I really enjoyed the mind-bendy session today, the encounter. I like the balance between the social, the puzzle, and the combat. I thought it was a good mixture. So if there's that opportunity, Diveris will push for that next session. But
I'm
if
gonna
not,
have to make some more statues.
we will touch everything. Diveris will just wander around like this. But if someone doesn't steer or railroad Diveris, then we may never make it out of Fleet. When I'm not playing here, I'm playing in my own campaign, Legends Die Live, which you can find at Twitch and Twitter. This Friday, last session, we left off with our players being confronted by a ogre howdah. If you don't know what that is, just take a look at it. It's a giant ogre which has like a fort on its back that carries like small goblins. It's just visually, it's really wacky, so I'm expecting a wacky encounter. So, Legends Die Live.
Excellent. And yes, I have been your DM this afternoon, Gloss and Gadgets, and when I'm not here, I'm on my own channel, Gold Heart Gaming. However, I will be back on the Grey Hawk channel this Friday, and I'm playing D&D all weekend. And I normally tell you what's on the channel, and I would regale my favourite moments, for there were many. However, it's very hot and I'm in a lot of pain. I'm starting to swell up, so I'm going to bid you good day. Check out the offline message, it has the schedule on it. Join the Discord. We are Grey Hawk channel. I'll bid you good night.